Languages, irrespective of their associations, carry whole lot of wisdom, hidden within. Their nouns not only carry the names, but also the actions, functions, and characteristics which were embedded while assigning those particular alphabets with specific arrangements, along with their prefixes and suffixes. To start with a series of exploration, by dissecting the nouns, this presentation shall untie the knotted prefix meant with English words. Subsequently, besides English, I shall knock the doors of Arabic and Urdu to present their patterns for a better understanding of languages, which ultimately would assist student class and teachers in broadening their horizon, make their minds factories of ideas and imaginations, which is the sole purpose of this channel. Before I proceed, I request you all to like, comment, subscribe, and share this channel so that you timely receive the videos aimed at spreading knowledge only. Revealing from the outset that what does this suffix meant truly signify when it attaches itself to words? Remember as a thumb rule that every English word with prefix or suffix meant would always refer to something relating to mind, mental state, or mental faculties. Taking start from the word mental, mental, whose dissection shall set a pace for subsequent understanding. Word mental is a combination of prefix ment and a suffix al. Does the word mental mean mind collaborating with the definite article al, or has its meaning been sarcastically distorted? What a nonsense! Oxford Dictionary says intellectually mental means faculties relating to the mind, whereas in psychiatry it is disorders of the mind. What a contrast in meaning with the change of discipline. But see the fascinating correlation between the disciplines. The soul of the man is lighted by the torch of knowledge and acquired with the help of the brain with the light of the eyes. Torch is also relying on fuel called electricity, and electricity has several theories. Before diving into the annals of history to find out what the word meant actually meant, how it evolved and used as prefix or suffix, let's resolve the if its meaning have been sarcastically distorted. Keep in mind, el and al and la are the definite articles in Spanish and imported by English. Al is actually a contraction of a el, which mean to the. Once meant is combined with al, clearly means to the limits of the mind. Along with the word mental, mental, let's address another confusion created by the same sound words with different spellings, like mantle, mantle, and mantle, mantel. Let's probe how dictionary defines them. Remember the word meant along with these words with same sound but change of vowels. Word mantle with spellings mantle would also eventually lead to the mind. Words like cloak, authority, leadership, spread wings of bird over prey, part just beneath the crust of earth, outer wall, casing, represent the traits or position which is driven by the brain or mind. Similarly, word mental with spellings mantel means shelf above the fireplace. This word too metaphorically represents the mind-brain, which is physically positioned above the fire. Fire, in the esoteric wisdom, is the representative of processing thoughts, ideas, opinions, advices, which too are represented firewood. Now always remember, naming of nouns or crafting of words was based on their physical appearance, characteristics, or their actions. Even their appearance, characteristics, and actions were metaphorically attached with other nouns in their abstract forms. And this phenomenon is routinely used in all languages, which shall be unzipped in coming videos on the languages. Now let's move on to the history and etymology of word slash prefix slash suffix mint.
All European languages are sister languages, but are always referred as Indo-European languages because major portion of their nouns are historically borrowed from Sanskrit. It's another story that why their nouns are from ancient Indian civilization to Greek, Latin, and subsequently to other languages, and why not from the ancient civilization of Egypt. At the moment, we shall focus on the word prefix or suffix meant. In Sanskrit, the root word mana or manas, which was considered as neutral, has different meanings based on the context, but all related to the mind. The word was borrowed by Greek as menos, same as neutral, with the meanings similitude to the Sanskrit. Subsequently, same Greek word menos was borrowed by Latin as mens and mentis, with the same meanings given by Sanskrit, all pertaining to mind. English language, which is mostly driven by the Latin, borrowed the same mentis as meant and used it as a prefix and suffix to show any act, process, result or state of mind or intentional actions, which is all pertaining to mind or brain.
The Sanskrit root word mana or manas has different meanings based on the context, but all are interrelated, interconnected like the mind considered as the faculty of thought, perception and cognition or consciousness considered as the inner organ that connects the senses to the intellect, or will, desire, intention considered as the emotional aspect of mind, and heart considered as the seat of feelings.
Greeks borrowed the same word as manos, with the meaning similitude to the Sanskrit as emotional, energetic, spirit, vital force, ardor, strength, fury, and divine impulse, which all are the phenomenon of mind, brain.
Same Greek word, menos, was borrowed by Latin as mens and mentis, with the same meanings given by Sanskrit, like mind, intellect, reason, thought, intention, feeling, and consciousness, which all are the phenomenons pertaining to the mind.
English language, which is mostly driven by the Latin, borrowed the same mentis as meant and used it as prefix and suffix to show any act, process, result, or state of mind or intentional actions. In nutshell, travel history of the word meant being used as prefix and suffix in English is from Sanskrit as mana, to Greek manos, to Latin as mens, mentis, and finally in English as meant. To validate the given idea further, let's explore a few more English words with prefix meant, like mentor, mention, mentation, menthol, menticide, mentimeter, and mentiform.
Now let's dissect the nouns and find out related phenomenons, if those are really pertaining to mind or not. The word mentor was used as a character in Greek mythology, who was the trusted friend and advisor of Odysseus, king of Ithaca, as embodiment of wisdom, guidance, all pertaining to mind on both sides of giver and receiver. Latin borrowed this word from Greek with same spellings and same sense as wise counselor, teacher, trusted guide, who cultivates or shapes the mind, but associated it with mens, mentis, with the meaning of mind, reason, and intellect, all aspects of the mind-brain. Word mentor entered into English in the 18th century, symbolizing wisdom, moral guidance, trusted advisor or teacher, again pertaining to mind-brain in all its aspects or facets. Essence: a wise counselor who shapes or cultivates the mind, which is a phenomenon directly related to the mind-mental faculties.
Word mention appears in Greek as memoneo, meaning to bring to speech or memory, connecting with the sacred role of words. In Latin, it appears as mentio, mentionis, which means I remember, calling to mind a reference which is from word mens, meaning to think, remember, related to mind memory. It carries both mental and verbal senses. Same word entered into English in 13th century from Latin, meaning to refer to speak of, to name something or someone. Over time, mention evolved from to call to mind, to call by name, and to briefly refer something in words. Essence: in real sense, it is related to memory or thinking, which is a function of mind, but over time, English changed its sense.
In Greek, word mentation is the movement or activity of the mind, the process of thinking, reasoning, remembering, and understanding. In their philosophy, it's the operation of the soul's rational faculty. In Latin, base of all ment words is from Proto-Indo-European root mens, which means to think, mind, intellect, reasoning, imagining, and planning. Word entered into English in 19th from ment, adding suffix ation as process, giving meaning a process or activity of thinking, mental activity or operation of the mind. Essence: Latin clearly states that base of all ment words are from Proto-Indo-European root mens, which is related to thinking, reasoning, intellect, planning, all activities of the mind. In Greek mythology, Minthe was a nymph who was turned into the mint plant by Persephone. In Latin, Greek Minthe became Mentha, giving birth to all mint and menth words from the fields of chemical and botany. Latin adopted it unchanged in meaning as oil of mint, used in medicine and perfumery. English language borrowed menthol from mentha and -ol, which is the standard chemical suffix denoting alcohol compounds. So menthol literally means mint alcohol. And we all know that alcohol compounds have either positive or negative effects on the mind or brain, like mentor affects the other's mind, cultivating thoughts, ideas. Essence: menthol is a naturally occurring compound having positive and negative effects on brain, mind. There is no word in Greek for menticide, but conceptually it would relate to psychoketonia, meaning soul-killing. So the Greek conceptual parallel to menticide would mean destruction of mind or intellect. Word entered into modern Latin in 20th century, meaning to cut, to kill. In literal meaning would mean killing of the mind, from mens joined with chadera. In English, it is the systematic and deliberate destruction or manipulation of a person's mind, beliefs, or mental independence, brainwashing, or to suppress independent thoughts. Essence. Affecting or killing someone's mind or soul is a phenomenon directly related to mind or mental faculties. Greek-related word menos, meaning mind, spirit, inner strength, mania, mental, intellect, consciousness. And meter is from Greek word metron, which means to measure or scale. Word is indirectly from the idea of mind/spirit or their scaling. In Latin, ment is borrowed from the Latin word mens/mentis, which means mind, intellect, thought. And meter is from Greek borrowed in Latin as metrum, which means to measure. This is routinely used for instrument names like thermometer, barometer, speedometer. So if combined, ment plus meter as mentimeter gives the meaning mind measurer or thought measuring instrument. In English, word mentimeter was coined in the 21st century with an understanding of a tool for measuring or gauging audience response, their engagement or thought. Essence. Measuring or gauging audience response, engagement, or thought is directly related to the mind. There is no word like mentiform in Greek. However, concept exists with equivalent ideas in Greek words like nous means mind, intellect, and morphe means form, shape, or metamorphosis, morphology, meaning mind-shaped or intellect-formed. In Latin, mens, ment, or mentis, means mind, intellect, reasoning, and formis or forma means shape, figure, appearance. Thus, mentiformis would mean shaped like a mind or having the nature or form of intellect. In English, mentiform means having the form, nature, or appearance of mind or mind-like which cannot be sensed but conceived. Essence. Mentiform is the nature, appearance, shape of mind.
I initiated this series to present a new angle to look towards the nouns and their construction, arrangements of alphabets, prefixes and suffixes to prove that all the wisdom is hidden within their names. Starting with the prefix ment, which would always mean something related to mind, mental state, or mental faculties, has been proved after digging them from their roots and etymological journey.
In part 2 on the same subject, we shall chew together to prove that the same ment as suffix would also be something related to mind, mental state, or mental faculties.
I'm sure this video would have opened up new shutters towards the process involved in construction of nouns, their etymological journeys embossing new imaginations and ideas. Thanks for watching the complete video.